Slack pricing went per seat and never stopped climbing. If your team has grown, your messaging bill has grown with it, and there are 5 actively maintained open source platforms that can replace it. But before you migrate, there is one Slack feature that every comparison article buries, and it's the one that blows up your timeline if you miss it.
The buried thing is Slack Connect. If any of your channels are shared with external companies, customers, agencies, contractors, those are Slack Connect channels. Not one of these 5 alternatives has a native equivalent. External collaboration has to move to email, a shared instance, or a bridge, and that conversation with stakeholders is the real migration cost, not the technical setup.
Here's the shortlist at a glance. 5 projects, all actively maintained as of late May 2026, sorted by GitHub stars. Rocket.Chat leads at 45,000, Mattermost at 36,000, Zulip at 25,000, Element at 13,000, and Revolt at 2,000. 2 of these have non-standard licenses, so keep an eye on that column.
Start with Rocket.Chat, because if your requirement is it looks and works like Slack, this is the closest match. Channels, direct messages, threads, file sharing, audio and video calls, it's all there. The trade-off is operational. The admin panel is deep and complex, and upgrades need to be planned carefully rather than applied casually.
45,000 stars, last pushed to GitHub on May 23, genuinely active. The license shows as no assertion in our dataset, meaning automated classification tools couldn't cleanly categorize it, so check the actual license file before any commercial deployment. For an internal team self-host, you're almost certainly fine, but verify before you build a product on top of it.
If your team is mostly developers and you're already deep in GitLab or GitHub CI pipelines, the more interesting pick is Mattermost. It's scoped narrower than Rocket.Chat. It doesn't try to be everything, but the integrations with developer toolchains are native rather than bolted on afterward.
36,000 stars, also no assertion on the license, same advice, read the current terms before deploying commercially. The honest trade-off is that you won't get the breadth of the Slack app directory, and workflow builder-style automation is more limited. What you do get is a platform designed from the ground up for DevOps and development workflows, and it's the most security-focused option of the 4.
Zulip takes a structurally different bet that's worth understanding before you dismiss it. Every Slack clone organizes messages as channel, then chronological scroll. Zulip organizes as channel, then named topic threads within that channel. Every message belongs to both a stream and a topic. You can follow topics individually the way you'd track an email thread.
25,000 stars and Apache 2.0, the most permissive license on this list, completely clear for self-hosting or commercial use without parsing a custom agreement. The topic threading is either exactly what async-first teams need to cut through noise, or a friction point for teams trained on Slack's linear scroll. Run a pilot week before committing. The UX shift is real.
Element is the most architecturally different option on this list. It's built on the Matrix protocol, which is decentralized and federated. Your home server exchanges messages with other Matrix servers the way email providers exchange email. If losing Slack Connect is your biggest concern, Matrix Federation is the nearest structural answer available in open source today.
13,000 stars, AGPL 3.0, standard copyleft, no ambiguity for self-hosting. The federation pitch is genuine, but there's an operational complexity cost. Running a Matrix home server is heavier than a single-node Mattermost install. The payoff is actual cross-organization messaging without both sides needing to be on the same platform.
A quick word on Revolt before the verdict. 2,000 stars in our data, but the GitHub entry is the project's discussions repository, not a production deployment stack. Revolt is an early-stage project currently better suited to community or hobbyist contexts than a business migration. One to bookmark and revisit in a year, not one to deploy on Monday.
Now the honest gaps that none of these close. Slack Connect for external channels has no native open-source equivalent. Elements Federation is the closest answer, and it requires the other org to also run Matrix. The Slack app directory has hundreds of integrations. Webhook-based ones are portable to every platform here, but any Slack OAuth app with custom flows must be rebuilt against the new API from scratch. And Slack Workflow Builder for business process automation has no clean drop-in replacement.
Quick gut check on who should stay on Slack. If external relationships run through Slack Connect channels today, You own a stakeholder conversation before any technical migration can start. If your sales or ops team has custom Slack OAuth integrations, budget real rebuild time months, not days. And if you're under about 15 people and price isn't the actual pain, the switching friction isn't worth it yet.
If you do move, the playbook from real migrations. Export your Slack message history on a paid plan and use the official Slack importers in Rocket.Chat or Mattermost. Recreate your channel structure in the new platform before the user migration date. Rebuilding it after causes organizational drift that takes weeks to settle. Audit every active integration. Webhook-based ones migrate cleanly, but Slack OAuth apps with custom auth flows have to be rewritten against the new platform's API.
That's the 5. Rocket.Chat if you want the Slack experience self-hosted. Mattermost if your team is engineering-led and already lives in GitLab. Zulip if you want structured threads to fix async noise. Element if cross-organization communication without a shared SaaS is the goal. The full comparison, updated live as stars and activity change, with migration notes, is linked in the description. If this saved you a research afternoon, subscribe. We do one of these every week.